The Trump administration is starting to rapidly take shape, and I really like John Ratcliffe. I don't know, most people are not familiar with John Ratcliffe, but John Ratcliffe was one of the few people that went after Hillary Clinton with Russia, 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 Russia. He's just picked him for CIA director. Now, I don't know if John Ratcliffe is hardcore enough to go in and deal with all the underlings in the CIA, and he may not even be the one to have to deal with it. Trump might just walk over and fire, all of them. He might just say, okay, from this level down, you all are fired and don't ever bring your behind back and remove their security clearances. But John Ratcliffe is definitely a great choice, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, because he was one of the few people that was extremely vocal in standing up to Hillary Clinton. Now, to stand up to Hill Dog mean you risking your life. She ain't nobody to play with. They do have a body count for a reason. We ain't talking about sex partners.
That was nothing.
This is a Fox News alert. President-elect Donald Trump announcing that former Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe will serve as his CIA director. Trump saying about Ratcliffe, quote, from exposing fake Russian collusion to be a Clinton campaign operation to catching the FBI's abuse of civil liberties at the FISA court, John Ratcliffe has always been a warrior for truth and honesty with the American public.
Now, she just reading a statement. Let's go look at John Ratcliffe in action. You dig? Because they're just reading a statement. They ain't looking at it. Let's look at him in action.
At this point, based on everything, do you think that any laws were broken by Hillary Clinton or her lawyers?
Do I think that any laws were broken? Yeah. I don't think there's evidence to establish that.
Okay. Well, I think you're making my point when you say there's no evidence to establish that. Maybe not in the way she handled classified information, but with respect to obstruction of justice. And you've got a pen here. I just want to make sure the record's clear about the evidence that you didn't have, that you can't use to prove. So this comes from the FBI's own report. It says that the FBI didn't have the Clintons' personal Apple server used for Hillary Clinton work emails. That was never located, so the FBI could never examine it. An Apple MacBook laptop and thumb drive that contained Hillary Clinton's email archives was lost, so the FBI never examined that. 2 BlackBerry devices, provided the FBI didn't have SIM cards or SD data cards. 13.
This is back when Hillary was using hammers. Y'all remember that? I'm going to tell you, bro, when it comes to criminals, them Clintons, boy, they some serious criminals. And they using hammers. You remember? Y'all don't remember when she was using hammers?
Hillary Clinton personal mobile devices were lost, discarded, or destroyed with a hammer, so the FBI clearly didn't examine those. Various server backups were deleted over time, so the FBI didn't examine that. After the State Department and my colleague, Mr. Gowdy, here notified Ms. Clinton that her records would be sought by the Benghazi Committee, copies of her emails on the laptops of both of her lawyers, Shara Mills and Harold Mills, and Heather Samuelson, were wiped clean with bleach bit, so the FBI didn't review that. After those emails were subpoenaed, Hillary Clinton's email archive was also permanently deleted from the Platte River Network with bleach bit, so the FBI didn't review that. And also after the subpoena, backups of the Platte River server were manually deleted. Now, Director, hopefully that list is substantially accurate because it comes from your own documents. My question to you is this. Any one of those in that very, very long list, to me, says obstruction of justice. Collectively, they scream obstruction of justice. And
man, listen, this was like one of the most insane time in American political history because it was being done. It was being reported on by Alex Jones, by the way. In the moment it was being done, it was being reported on like, yeah, Hillary Clinton is around here using hammers to destroy evidence. And then it comes out that it's all true. And at that point in time, not many people were holding the Clintons and this administration's feet to the fire. They just weren't doing it. They weren't doing it at all. And so he was one of the few that had the kahunas to do this. And I think he's a perfect pick for the CIA director. I'm just hoping he got a set of kahunas on him. Maybe there's gonna be somebody that you need a head bust, a wig splitter in there with you though. You can't just go in there as a regular politician. You need some muscle with you.
To ignore them, I think, really allows not just reasonable prosecutors, but reasonable people to believe that maybe the decision on this was made a long time ago not to prosecute Hillary Clinton. And with that, I yield back.
Director, do you care to respond?
Very briefly, to ignore that which we don't have, We're in a fact-based world, so we make evaluations based on the evidence we're able to gather using the...
Man, I remember that. Oh, I remember watching this and being so pissed. The facts were that she destroyed all the evidence. And he said, we don't have any of them. No, she destroyed the evidence. That's obstruction of justice. Bro, it was him. It was McCabe. It was Stark. Oh, my goodness. Those dudes were wild. I mean, they were wild, rabid dogs.
The tools that we have. So it's hard for me to react to these things that you don't have.
Comey still need to go to jail.
So that's my reaction to it.
He still needs to go to prison, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sorry. He still needs to go to prison.